Well, if you happen to be up in the wee hours last night and around for the Gen Con test IRL stream, you'll know I'm in no damn mood today. The chat tried to tell me, but I didn't listen. I saw a story breaking this morning on Disney Marvel director James Gunn. And of course, it had all the usual hysteria about it. A lot of the buzzwords that you just can't say on the YouTube.coms these days. And I told myself, take a look at the whole picture. Don't watch anything yet. And so I asked you on Twitter, where you should be following me if you can, to send me all the evidence. And I've assembled it. And what I want to do is paint a picture and share the conclusion that I've come to after going through some of this, okay? We have all sorts of heinous tweets by James Gunn. The best thing about being not going to say it is when you're done being not going to say it, it's like, phew, it feels great not being not going to say it. Actually, I should probably... There we go. I mean, doesn't sound very progressive for a guy that's constantly whinging about Trump. Let's see. And these are old. You know, make no mistake about it. But let's go through just a few of them. Retweet. I like it when little boys touch me in my silly place. Shh. My new film, Jerk Loose. A small town where beating off is illegal and one high school kid jerks off in front of others to show off how fun it is. That was interesting. Photo shoot with these people trying to maintain a semi-chub so I'll look impressive in those photos. This may be the plant version of adopting a damaged 12-year-old girl who steals your money and accuses you of... Not gonna say it. Hashtag unromantic movies. 3 men and a baby they had sex with. Honesty is the best policy. Tell your 3-year-old you're laughing, thinking of me. Screwing 3PO. He'll appreciate it when he's older. It gets far worse. And I want to point out something. Look, if you take the entirety of my Twitter career and every edgy joke that I've ever made and put it in a nice dossier, you can probably make me look like a monster too. Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn responded after a series of his old, quote, shocking and, quote, offensive tweets resurfaced. Jack Prosobiak changing it. I'm doing a big Hollywood film adaptation of The Giving Tree with a happy ending. The tree grows back and gives the kid a BJ. About to vomit is some stuff with Etauf. I don't know. I'm not rich enough to know what that is. An eggplant. I'm Louis Anderson, my ass out. Oh, Louis Andersoning my ass out. Just the fat, not the little boys. James Gunn seems to have a propensity for making jokes about little boys. The Hardy Boys and the mystery of what it feels like when Uncle Bernie fists me. Hashtag sad children's books. Interesting. But he issued a apology. Let's hear what he says. Many people who have followed my career know when I started, I viewed myself as a provocateur, making movies and telling jokes that were outrageous and taboo. As I have discussed publicly many times, as I've developed as a person, so has my work and humor. Interesting that a literal Hollywood elite is trying to use the Milo Yiannopoulos defense. I'm sure if you asked him when Milo said that, he probably wouldn't have accepted it. too. It's not to say that I'm better, but I'm very, very different than I was a few years ago. Today, I try to root my work in love and connection and less in anger. My days saying something just because it's shocking and trying to get a reaction are over. In the past, I've apologized for humor of mine that hurt people. I truly felt sorry and meant every word of my apologies. For the record, when I made these shocking jokes, I wasn't living them out. I know this is a weird statement to make and seems obvious, but still, here I am saying it. Why do you think he's saying that? Anyway, that's the completely honest truth. I used to make a lot of offensive jokes. I don't anymore. I don't blame my past self for this, but I like myself more and feel more human being and creator today. Love to all of you. Now, to be fair, that's a fine apology, I think. It's fine. But when you look at this man's history, soon after he posted his thoughts on the Dupla situation, conservatives searched through his Twitter archives and discovered several tweets dating back more than a decade, which have since been deleted from him with all sorts of bad jokes, jokes about AIDS, pedoness, and comments characterized as being anti-Semitic. I mean, it's a lot of jokes about little boys. Maybe he just has a sick sense of humor. But it's weird. It's really weird. Laughter is the best medicine. That's why I laugh at people with AIDS. Just made a joke about getting demonetized, my friend, when she was asleep. I want to go big game hunting, but know it's morally questionable. So I'll split the difference and go big game demonetization. And the reason I'm trying my best to avoid certain words is because I've noticed a connection with the amount of people that get notified about my movies and the status in which YouTube characterizes it. I couldn't care less about the cash. What I'm worried about is people actually seeing this video. Interesting. Why don't we look at what Open Secret has to say? James Gunn is appearing today at San Diego Comic-Con, 6:15 p.m. I'm about 75% sure he will back out of this. Maybe he won't. Video, 100 prepubescent girls touch themselves. Now, the crack detectives over at 4chan figured out that this was really just an edgy joke. In my opinion, a lot of these on their own appear to be just edgy jokes. The video was of some young girl singing that song from, I don't know, the early 80s or something. He took his entire blog down, but it's been saved. Monkey jerked off on a kid. The trainer was too late. It only took the monkey a few seconds to bring himself to completion. A string shot out of the mini monkey wood and splash landed directly on the kid. Screaming, freaking out, commenced. I know I might be sick, but the story makes me extremely happy. That's a weird thing to say. Eagle snatches kid is what I call it when I get lucky. Now, if you're aware of an Open Secret, this sort of behavior is well known about in Hollywood, but for some reason, openly accepted. Why? Because there's just too much money there. I mean, you can read these. I get being edgy, okay? I get it. But why are they all about the same thing? And it's starting to formulate a conclusion in my mind, but I don't want to poison the well. I want to present everything to you and then share at the end what my thoughts are. I mean, what do you think? To me, I'm torn. And I sat and thought about a lot of these. And if you're just listening to the video, I'm just not going to read a lot of this stuff because a lot of it, I don't know. I don't want to be on tape necessarily dismissing this stuff as a joke if it turns out that he is in real life a terrible, terrible monster. Right? I don't want to defend when you have hundreds, maybe thousands of tweets on the same 2 or 3 topics. I mean, what do you think? It's clearly, now when I first saw this, I thought, okay, you have to be aware that hit pieces exist. I'm literally doing a piece on the anatomy of a hit piece. We're with Ethan Ralph right now, doing an interview with him later today. And I think it's going to be really interesting. But if you presented this to a court and you gave him a chance to provide some context, what would you expect? Hey, provide context for this tweet that you made 10 years ago. What was going through your head when you said that? I don't think we can expect any real answers. I don't know if I'm necessarily convinced that the man is a monster, but he clearly has a weird obsession. And it's my experience when covering a lot of these types of situations, when the final piece of the puzzle gets put together in cases like this, these are the signs that people go back and say, oh, I guess you're right. How did we not see that? And in most cases, a guilty conscience can be behind these types of very public admissions. It's almost like the Disney director wants to be caught.